Afternoon again to everyone. I love it. This is football. We excited. We make noise. Yes? So welcome to the Clyde Best Center of Excellence for the BFA Legends Scholarship Awards presentation of 2018. Before I proceed, I would just like to acknowledge the executive council members that are here present. Some of you may or may not know who they are, but as of today, you will. Starting with the BFA president, Mr. Mark Wade. Please, Mr. Wade, stand up and be acknowledged by our guests. Mr. Mark Wade. We have Mr. Shannon Burgess, which is our first vice president. Mr. Burgess. We have Mr. Cranston Williams, who is our second vice president. We have Mr. Manny Faria. He told me to remember Maria. We have Mr. Anthony Francis, executive member, Mr. Francis, referee at the back. A lot of you may know him. We have Mr. Vance Campbell, executive member at the back. Just would like to also point out Kendi Williams, who is an office administrator. And of course, we have Gail Lindsay, who is our financial controller. Well, we have a very special welcome. We have Mr. Jordan Victoire. He is the FIFA Regional Project Coordinator who is visiting to us from Martinique and Barbados. Before I call the BFA president up to say some opening remarks, I would just like all of us to put our hands together for the wonderful job our girls under 15s are doing at IMG. For those who do not know, they are 3-0 in the tournament and will progress to the semifinal, having beaten Antigua and Barbados, and Curacao. Very big nations in our region. Mr. President, may you please take the floor, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just to add a little tidbit, our girls will play St. Lucia in the semifinals. So we're looking forward to them making the finals, and that game will be tomorrow. So I just wanted to just add a little bit of color and history to what we're doing today. The Legend Scholarship was started in 2007. We took a short hiatus in 2012 for 5 years, and that's always down to funding. But thankfully, we were able to reinstate the Legend Scholarship in 2017. Over the years, we've managed to first highlight some of our legends, which for us is always important that our young people know who came before them and who showed us they stand on. So we have acknowledged people like administrators like Dudley Eve, who we have a trophy named after him. Miss Diane Hunt, who is with us tonight, as one of our administrators, as one of our selectors. We have Mr. Charlie Marshall, who distinguished himself as a referee and still serves the game today, having started a $1 million fund, which matures every 5 years and he puts money back into the game. We've also acknowledged coaches like Mr. Gary Darrell, who still stands as the coach who took our team the furthest it's ever been in the World Cup qualifiers. But we also have persons who have a trifecta of skill sets, who have been players, coaches, and administrators, such as Mr. Randy Horton and Mr. Leroy Niepce Lewis. And more importantly, for those awardees in the room, or on the balcony, sorry, we have players who we have awarded years ago, who now still serve us as senior players on our senior national team, who will be going on to the Nations League in approximately a month's time. So there are players like Zico Lewis, William White, Roger Lee, and of course Trey Ming. So you have a lot that you're standing on, and you have a lot to live up to. But I know, having seen some of the names, that you will do us all proud. And at this point, I'm going to hand it back over to Mr. Suber. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Before we call on our next distinguished guest, just would also like to highlight the members of the Legends Scholarship Selection Committee, starting with, in the front, Mr. Anthony Machette. Ms. Diane Hunt, my favorite school teacher. Mr. Robert K. Horton.
Am I not your favorite school teacher also?
We have a different title for him. And of course we have Mr. Cal Simons, who unfortunately, or maybe not so unfortunate, but he's overseas traveling and was unable to join us today. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to call the chairman of our selection committee, Mr. Robert Horton.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. May I, on behalf of my colleagues on the selection committee, thank the BFA for affording us this incredible opportunity to serve on the selection committee, an opportunity which enabled us to meet about 10 very fine young people, Bermuda's finest. It really was a pleasure. It is an honor. And we all felt extremely proud as these young people sat across from us and responded to our questions. I say this to you, Mr. President, and to your colleagues. A distinguished footballer of yesteryear, but one that we shall never forget in the annals of football, a gentleman by the name of Edson Arantes do Nascimento, more commonly known as Pele, said, "If you don't give education to the people, it is easy to manipulate them." I therefore wish to salute the BFA for recognizing the importance of education via this scholarship, for recognizing that outstanding prowess on the sporting field is very important. It leads to great success, but also having educated footballers, men and women, is critically important. So we thank you for this. Parents, we salute you for producing some very fine young people. They thrilled us, and I know that there are enormous credits to you, their parents, to other members of the family, to the football community, and to Bermuda generally. At this point, they don't know who is receiving what, but your selectors enjoyed selecting you. With that, I offer you, the successful applicants, best wishes for continued success in your programs of study at the various universities abroad, and for continued service to the football community, whether on the field, as administrators, as coaches, in any sphere of the wonderful world of football. So in advance, I congratulate you. Thank you.
Okay, without further ado, we'll get right into the presentations of the awards, or the announcement of the awards. Our first award is the Bermuda Football Association's Special Scholarship Award. And the committee made an approach to the executive committee, council, because there were more than 5 worthy applicants. And they felt so strongly that, at least as in football, we do have additional players. So they asked the association to please consider giving a special award to an additional student athlete. And the association agreed to that. And as a result, we are very pleased and very happy to say that Zori Burgess, Mr. President.
Good afternoon. I just want to thank the BFA, my mama, my nana, my daddy for everything that they've done, especially my mama. She's been like my agent for basically this whole process. Yeah, Mrs. Sabir is right, and I'm pretty sure Mr. Wade and Williams would have probably had my head after this because they knew as the captain I gotta work on talking in front of people, so I'd have never heard the end of this. But like I said, I just want to thank everybody for coming out. Congrats to all the other recipients, and thank you.
Our next scholarship, well, our first Legend Scholarship, Mr. John Newsom. Mr. John Newsom originally played for the Bombardiers youth team before joining PHC Juniors in 1966. While at PHC, the youth team won the Western Division, the Shell Cup, and the Crystal Palace Cup in one season. He was also part of the Bermuda national youth team that won the Bermuda International Tournament in 1968, defeating teams like Barbados, Haiti, and Mexico in the process. When graduating to PHC's senior team, he was the captain of the Triple Crown winning PHC team in 1971, when the league, the FA Cup, and the Friendship Trophy were the only trophies that one could play for. In 1971, he was voted as the senior league's most valuable player and represented Bermuda at the senior national team level. It is believed that he may be the only player that won the MVP at the junior, senior, and the commercial league levels. He also played for Young Men's Social Club, Warwick United, and Hamilton Parish. In 1974, he was awarded a 4-year football scholarship to attend the Philadelphia College of Textiles and Science, now known as the Philadelphia University. While there, he was selected as a first-team All-American in 3 of the 4 years he was in college. He graduated in 1977 with bachelor's in accounting and marketing. After graduating from college, he was drafted in the first round of the for the San Diego Sockers in the then North American Soccer League, and played indoor and outdoor professional football for various teams such as the San Diego Sockers, the Rochester Lancers, the New York Arrows, the New Jersey Devils, and the Hartford Helions. From 1990 to 1995, he was head coach of the Hamilton Parish Workmen's Club and claims they were the most exciting team to watch. After coaching Hamilton Parish, he was elected into the Executive Council of the BFA and was appointed as chairman of the Technical Committee for 3 years. He later did a second term at the BFA and was appointed as the chairman of youth football, a position he held for 2 years, as well as serving on the referees committee. It is with great pleasure, Mr. President, please, and I'll ask our chairman of the committee to please join us in the absence of Mr. John Newsom in presenting Savannah Fisher with the John Newsom Scholarship 2-year award.
So I'd like to thank the committee and the BFA and John Newsom, because without them I wouldn't have been picked for this award and the awards wouldn't have been possible. But the people I want to thank the most are my parents, because without them I wouldn't probably have started football. I wouldn't have started coaching, which is a big thing that I do. I love coaching and giving back to the community. And so I also want to thank all the teams that I coach, all the children, because without them, again, I don't think I would have been selected for this award, because I feel like giving back to the community is a big part of football in general, not just playing, but you have to be off the field as well, trying to help the younger generations become better at who they are and what they play. So thank you.
Lorenzo Simons attended the Central School, now called the Victor Scott School, at the age of 5 to 10, the Barclay Institute at the ages of 11 through 16, and attended the Bermuda College, which was then where the National Sports Complex is located, from the ages of 17 to 19. The younger folk may not know what I'm talking about. I do apologize. This education, according to him, this education prepared him to become a Bermuda registered professional surveyor. His football career began in school at age 8, and for the Bermuda Football Association at the age of 13. Lorenzo began his career in football playing in his backyard, which a number of us did back in the day. We didn't have nice pitched artificial surfaces like this. We played backyard football. He started officially with the BFA at what would be considered, in present day, a late age of 13 at the Young Men's Social Club. He had gone to the Devonshire Colts, but didn't think that he could make the team. So at age 14, with more confidence, he joined Devonshire Colts, where he played the remainder of his career, spending 21 years until age 35. He became captain of Devonshire Colts at the age of 21, right through until the age of 32. He was captain of the under-23 national team at the age of 22, and his crowning glory was captain of the senior men's national team at age 23 until age 33, which is, I believe, the longest serving captaincy in Bermuda. Is that true, sir? Well, then it's true. He never tried out to be a professional, but is believed in respected quarters of football, he would not have been out of his element. He had a high technical ability. He was a silky, skillful player, very smart technically, absolute amazing tactical abilities, and more importantly, he had the respect of his fellow players. He was in fact a very thorough person and a player, but he would demand of his fellow teammates only what he would demand of himself. Add to this how he was respected by his peers, and you have a person with immense qualities as a good leader. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring Micah Pawn, but then I understand that she is also overseas, so her mother will accept the award in her absence, Mr. President. But I would also like to Zendro Simons, who is representing his father here today.
So Micah currently couldn't be here because she is already away at her school starting her football season. So on behalf of Micah and I would like to express our extreme gratitude to the BFA and the Legends Scholarship Committee for selecting Micah along with the other recipients as the 2018 Legends Scholarship awardees. It's truly an honor to be a recipient of this award. Micah is currently a sophomore at Brookhaven College in Texas, taking courses towards her associates in science with an ultimate goal to complete college and become an occupational therapist. While attending school, Micah has been an integral part of the women's soccer team that has won the NJCAA Division III tournament, also earning all tournament team honors for the national championships and All-American team honors last season. Through her hard work and commitment, Micah has been selected as team captain for the 2018 and 2019 soccer season. Receiving this award will help to motivate Micah to push forward and complete her degree. She looks forward to representing her country and being able to one day give back to her community. Once again, on behalf of Micah and I would like to thank you for your confidence and willingness to help her achieve her goals.
Our next legend needs no introduction. Mr. Dennis Wainwright is a Bermuda Hall of Famer, was born in St. George's and grew up in Flets. He started his football life at the age of 15, playing both football and cricket for Flets Victoria Recreation Club in the second division of the BFL. I understand that's for the Bermuda Football League. And later moved to Wellington Rovers, playing in the first division. Mr. Wainwright has had much success, having won 4 league championship medals, 4 BFA championship medals, and a silver medal in the Pan Am Games. He received the Badge of Honor in the year 2000 and the MBE in 2005. After his playing days, he coached and later became he put class 1, but I'm going to put a first class 1 referee with the Bermuda Football Association. He spends his free days mentoring young boys at the Francis Patton School, which he has been doing for the past 18 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Andrew McDowell to receive the Dennis Wainwright Scholarship, 5 years, for 2 years, $5,000 per year. May I also ask Mr. Dennis Wainwright to please join us?
Believe it or not, my grandson sent this to me today and says, "Pappy, you must read this." Andrew is on his way to pre-training, and he says, "I am sorry that I could not be here today, but my grandfathers, Papa McDowell, Papa Ming, are here to represent me and accept my scholarship. I greatly appreciate the BFA and the selection committee for choosing me as one of the scholarship recipients. At this time, I am hopefully landed in Tampa." He hasn't landed yet. "And getting ready to make and to take on the next phase of my academic and athletic career. I thank my family, friends, coaches, role models, and everyone else who has ever influenced my life. I will continue to strive for excellence and represent everyone well as a student athlete. Once again, thank you for selecting me as a recipient of the Legends Scholarship and helping me to get another step closer to achieving my goals. Regards, Andrew McDowell Jr." Might I just add, it's ironic that my grandson receives the scholarship named after my childhood hero, Dennis Wainwright.
While I have a captive audience, I might as well say something too. I want to, as well, thank the BFA for giving Andrew this award. And I would also like to commend the BFA on the excellent job that they're doing. And I'd just say, keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
Our next legend, Mr. Carlisle Crockle, was born February the 22nd in 1932 and passed away. Unfortunately, we lost Mr. Crockle on June the 28th, 2015. He was affectionately known as Pee Wee Crockle. I never called him that because none of us young people did. Because he was a long-serving member of the Bermuda Referees Association and one of Bermuda's top and most well-known no-nonsense referees. He also had the distinct honor of refereeing matches internationally during FIFA World Cup qualifiers, the Pan Am Games, and various qualifying and friendly international matches sanctioned by CONCACAF. His first international match was a World Cup preliminary round qualifier between Canada and the United States that took place in Newfoundland. He was appointed an honorary vice president of the Bermuda Football Association, and in 2001 was appointed an honorary life vice president of the association. I would like to call Michael Hartman to receive the Carlisle Crockle Senior Scholarship for $5,000 for the next 2 years. I would also like to invite Mr. Crockle's daughter, Carla Crockle, to come forward, please.
Came up late.
First of all, good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to God, because without him, there's no me. And thank you to the BFA Legends Scholarship Committee for selecting me. I greatly appreciate this donation to my schooling. I also like to thank my family, my friends, because it's a great support system. And also, last but not least, my coaches and my mentors. Thank you. Thank you.
Our final legend for 2018, Dr. Llewellyn Simmons, has served the Bermuda public school system since October 1st, 2008 as the Director of Academics. Dr. Simmons has also been a guidance counselor, social studies teacher, and educational officer for social studies. Before returning to Bermuda, Dr. Simmons was an assistant professor at the University of Dayton, Department of Education Leadership. He was also a visiting instructor at the Miami University of Ohio. He has taught various courses in curriculum, staff development, cultural studies, assessment, decolonization discourse, and leadership at the undergraduate and graduate levels. Dr. Simmons has a long range of community activism locally and internationally. Most notably, a local activism in the form of 100 Black Man Plus of Bermuda was established along with the late Honorable Minister Nelson Bascom in 1990. Together, they founded, designed, and developed with other black men the Venturilla Summer School for Boys as a scholar mentoring solution. In addition, many proactive resolutions were formed, speaking to not only the psychological, spiritual, cultural, and educational development of Bermuda's black males and their families, but also to the economic self-reliance of Bermuda's people. Internationally, Dr. Simmons is also an education consultant, having worked with Arise Academy and the Colin Powell Leadership Academy, and numerous universities and foundations. He has various scholarly presentations, publications, and book reviews. As a scholar athlete, Dr. Simmons has a long list of championship achievements in football and track and field. Most notably, his athletic success has been in football at all levels: youth, college, national, and international. Keeper Lou, is one of only 2 goalkeepers in Bermuda that has ever won the coveted title of Bermuda's most valuable player, and he did that in 1984. It's also interesting to point out that he attended Burrs Island Elementary School, Sands Secondary School, and of course, the then Sixth Form Center. Us young people don't know what that is. It is with great pleasure that we invite Tashay Darrell, BFA President, and also Dr. Simmons.
I'm getting too much grief from some board members in the office, and this is going national. So
I am extremely honored to receive this award tonight. I sincerely would like to thank my parents for supporting me, my coaches, past and present, Somerset Cricket Club, and also the BFA Legends Committee for selecting me. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you agree that we have selected some really outstanding Before we wrap up, it is also fitting that we have one of our legends to make a few comments on behalf of this year's class of 2018 legends. Dr. Lou Simmons, please.
thank you, Mr. Truck. Just a minute, let me get this right. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me first begin by thanking the BFA for this prestigious award. The fact that we are acknowledging legends, I believe that's overdue. I mean, I know we've been doing it since 2006, 7, you said? Yes. And I believe it's overdue. And I think it's something that we don't do enough of in Bermuda, acknowledging our legends on many levels. But this award is an outstanding award. John Newsom, Lorenzo Simons, one of my mentors and greats, Dennis Wainwright, one of my mentors, Kalal Crockwell, in the neighborhood. These are all persons who I looked up to growing up as a young man and as a footballer. Let me just say that to the recipients of this year's Legends Awards, you have a great task ahead of you, because this is an award that I take seriously in terms of not just athletics. And as my bio was read, it was less said about football. Football has paved a lot of my path educationally, personally, professionally. And I would hope that the young people who are recipients of this award tonight recognize that their role as scholar athletes transcends what's happening on the field. Doors are going to open for you. Doors will open for you. And they will open for you based upon not so much about what happens on the field, but what happens off the field, your character. So it was great to hear some of the recipients speak earlier and share their sentiments, because we need more and more of our young people stepping forward and sharing what they have learned, what they have earned, and what stands out for them in Bermuda's community. Mr. President and your committee, I thank you all once again. I am Keeper Lou, the one and only, none before me, none after, none shall ever be. I am legend in my own mind. If not my mind, whose mind but my own? So I thank you for acknowledging all of our legends. I have fun with that, because the name Keeper Lou actually was given to me by children, and children who had never ever seen me play. I always found that fascinating. When you go to a school and you hear children on the playground, and by the way, this was an East End. I go into East End Primary and I hear Keeper Lou, Keeper Lou. And I'm like, who you talking? These are little kids. Keeper Lou, they're all in the goal playing, and one of the kids is diving over. I'm Keeper Lou, I'm Keeper Lou. So you know what that made me feel like, right? So I always acknowledge it. I always acknowledge it because it's a name that sticks with me wherever I go. And half the children who call it have never, ever seen me play. So it speaks to, again, the importance of this Legends Award. So thank you all very much.
Gives me also great pleasure to invite our first Vice President, Mr. Shannon Burgess, who was also a national team captain and and played for the Devonshire Colts. And Mr. Burgess, you have the floor, sir.
Good evening, everyone. As Mr. Francis shows me his watch, yes, I will be brief. It's always reassuring showing up to a reception and seeing your name on the agenda without any prior notification. So, Mr. Sabir, you and I will have a discussion. As the president said earlier, we've started this scholarship to honor our legends, but we've also started the scholarship to ensure that we have future legends. Yeah, I am a beneficiary of scholarships, so I'm proud of the work that the community is doing to wrap our hands around these future legends. Yeah, Mr. John Newsom, Mr. Dennis Wainwright, Mr. Crackle, Mr. Simmons were all legends as I grew up. I had the pleasure of playing alongside Lorenzo. David got it right when he said 10 years because he looked at me specifically because I was the captain for 9 years. So Lorenzo beat me at the national team level captaincy. But, as I stand in front of you today, a word to our scholars, a bit of advice is that the work that you do on the field, week in, week out, since you're a baby, the sacrifice you put in, the investment you put in, I encourage you to do it as you proceed in this journey in your education, because the success that you have achieved on the football field will also be achieved in your life if you put in that work in your education. So stay focused. We will be behind you. We're proud of you, and we wish you good luck. Thanks.